Spiritual filters. Have you got one? Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge, day 237 today. Today we're talking about, and all this month we're focusing on the area of spirituality. Remember our 9 life framework area? Spirituality. I usually cover earlier in the year, but this year I am mixing everything up in our Supersize You Annual Challenge. So I thought I would do the same. This is the first time we've ever done an annual challenge for business owners. I'm like, you know what? Business owners are people too. And whether we believe it or not, creating our own business, having our own business is one of the biggest personal development programs we will ever undertake, not knowing that we actually are doing that as part of growing and scaling and supersizing our business. Well, today we're going to do 2 things. We're going to have 2 action items today. I kind of gave you a heads up yesterday and said, hey, what's your goal in the area of spirituality for your business by the end of the year? We're going to apply the super framework starting today. And we're going to talk about that first so I don't forget. Super framework, storyboard. S stands for our story. What is the story about spirituality and this goal that we're telling ourselves in our business right now? Maybe it's just, hey, it's non-existent. We don't have any spiritual aspects or essence to our business right now, and we'd like to incorporate one. So our current story is we got nothing. Our desired story is we want to incorporate it one, and we want to include these 4 elements, or these 3, or these 5. Apparently 3 is all humans can handle right now, so we only share 3 things at a time with them. Really scary. We also only have a 5-second attention span. How freaking frightening is that? Just no wonder we get on our kids for not listening and for having a short attention span when we as adults are the same exact way. So today, create a picture or a little stick diagram of what your current situation is, and then create a storyboard or current desired picture. So you got the beginning and the end, and we're going to fill in the rest of it using the rest of the super framework this week. So that is our action item 1 today. Yes, we're going to have 2 action items today. Now let's get back to talking about, do you have a spiritual filter for your business? Do you have one for yourself? But do you have one for your organization and your business as a whole? I know I never called it that, but when I was running my Italian food manufacturing business, 35 years in that business, that was my longest running. I ran other businesses, of course, too, along the side. I've had a total of 27 different businesses. That's a lot, as my granddaughter would say. But the longest running one was the Italian food manufacturing business. And I had a filter for it, but it wasn't real. It was just a culturally shared filter. It wasn't a written down, documented thing like you'll go to big corporations, which I work for many of them. And you'll see the purpose and the vision and the principles on the walls, right? Well, it wasn't like that, but we definitely had one. And there were a couple of things that were components of that. One was, we don't talk about religion and politics at work. We just don't. Why? Because they are deeply seated, emotionally tied beliefs. And we're not going to argue with one another's because all it does is harm our relationship. So we had things like that in place. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, here's where we are, here's where we want to be. And we're going to actually identify that and ask ourselves, do we have a filter in place for thinking about things that feed our business's soul, our spirit, the spirit of our organization, or not? And you can rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, because we know I love doing that, and say, okay, well, where am I? Because it's like everything else we do. It's going to be a continually improving process or thing. And depending on where it fits on your priority list, it might not even get attention except for what we're covering in this challenge. And that's why I want you to set the goal, and then we're going to figure out, using the framework, how can we make that happen almost on autopilot so that we don't have to spend a lot of time and energy devoted to this particular thing or any other one area and aspect of our business. Unless, of course, it's our number one problem, and then we're going to focus all our attention on that and fix it. That's my personal philosophy. When something is screaming at us and a big problem, we take care of that thing first, and then it will have a positive impact on many other things, which means we get where we want to go faster. So what does it mean to have a filter, a spiritual filter on things? It means we consciously consider the impact of different things that affect our business. The biggest of which is usually our culture. And to be honest, as owners and founders, we think we know what our culture's like, but the chances are of us having a realistic picture of what our culture is like is slim to none, like under 3 to 5%. I am going to hazard a guess. And we think we know what's going on, but chances are we don't. No matter how close we are to our organization and our people, they don't tell us everything. I don't know about you, but have you ever had a significant other or a boyfriend or girlfriend that didn't tell you everything? Well, none of us know. Heck, we don't even know about ourselves most of the time and why we do things, much less other people. And then if you multiply that times the number of people that are helping you build your organization, it's exponential. And so I think it's important that we have guidelines and filters that positively impact our culture and our environment, as well as the spirit of our culture and our environment. So we want to guard our organization against negative media, negative practices, gossip, judgment, comparison to others. Yeah, we're going to compare ourselves to the competition on a high level, but we're not going to bring that all the way down into the operations of the organization. Why? It doesn't serve anybody, right? Healthy competition, contests and things in a positive way can be presented in part of increasing the spirit of our organization. But if they're not handled properly, just like anything, if it's not done correctly, it can have a negative impact on your organization. So can we feed our organization positive messages, things that lift their spirits, motivating, flowing, good vibration things? I'll tell you a secret I used to do in my family. I have very high energy kids. They're grown now and they have kids of their own, but it was stressful in our household growing up, and my spouse was not awesome. I'll just leave it at that. And so I actually used to play subliminal music throughout the house all the time in the background, all the time. And it had a calming effect on everybody in the household. Now, they didn't know about it. They do now because I just shared it with the world. But I did that often, if not all the time, because it had a calming effect on the organization. Maybe there's something like that you could do in your organization. One of my favorite tools is something called the Believe app. It's a hypnosis, meditation, manifestation app. And I think I'm the number one fan. Okay, I am the number one fan. I probably use it more than anybody else does, including the creator of it, except she created the whole thing. So that's much more important. But I consume a lot on that app. Why? Because there's so much crud going on in our world, right? Around us all the time, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, we are being bombarded with negative messages, how we should feel, what we should think, all of the craziness. The negativity is exponentially exacerbated in our environment, and it's all intentional, and it's all designed to make us feel scared and small and controlled. And I choose not to participate in that, and I won't let the people in my organizations either. I want us to be creating what we want in the world, not what other people crazies want in the world, right? And that's all relative. What I think is crazy, other people think's totally sane. What they think's totally sane, I think it's crazy. That's just the way it works, because we all have different experiences and different perspectives and different points of view. So just ask yourself today, do a little audit in your organization. What are we consuming as an organization? What are we focusing on? If we are focusing on the competition at every level in our organization and making everything a competition, how healthy is that for the spirit of our organization? I will tell you right now, if I worked in an environment like that, I would be gone faster than I could change my clothes. I've actually worked in some environments like that and with some organizations like that, or I actually initially started to work with them and pretty quickly said, not working out, time to go, smell you later. I didn't really say smell you later, but I did send them a nice, hey, nice knowing ya, but I'm going to go in a different direction. So, message, not just messages, it's like breaking up with your romantic interest over text. No, just no. Bad move. Well, it just shows your level of maturity, I guess. All right. So today, what are we doing? We are going to audit the things that are impacting, and do we have a spiritual related filter for our organization? And if not, what are you going to do to put that in place? Share one thing in the comments below. Then we're going to also sketch out our current situation with respect to our spiritual goal for our organization and our desired one. Why? So we create the gap between those two and we start to fill it. So by the end of the year, we almost have it filled automatically because we're doing the things and taking the steps, the rest of the process that get us there the fastest. Any questions about any of this, hit me up and ask. You can always join our free Supersize Your Business school platform community. If you would like to do that, just put me in the comments below and I will send you the invitation. And that's where we talk about these things. That is actually where I am housing the annual challenge this year. It is charged, but if you ask me, I will let you in for free and you can have access to it and the whole year in order. Really? Yes, absolutely. Because it's one of those things, if I can mix up the way that we talk about the different area life frameworks, that means you can pop in and join anytime you want. So if financial is your biggest concern, you can go right to the financial section, the month that we focused on that. If physical health and well-being of your organization is your concern, you can go there first. So that's why I like doing it that way. Any questions? I'm here to help. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.